Okay, first I just want to thank you, Lisa, for agreeing to do this teaching
welcome.
assessment video with me. Alright, so today we're going to be learning basic fundamentals of the flute. And before we start, I'd like to just go ahead and practice a little bit of breath support with you. And so in order to do this, I'd like you to just take your right hand, put it up right in front of your face like so, and just see if you can blow the air straight at the tip of your fingers like so. Good. Now see if you can actually aim that air down below without moving your head. So like so. And you should be able to feel the air moving back and forth on there. Good. Now it's important to keep a constant airstream, and so in order to do this, we want not too much fast air, so we'll run out of air quickly, and not fast and slowing down. So we want to sustain a nice, good tone and pitch with this breath support. So try just keeping a nice, steady airstream. Good, that sounds great. Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about this breath support, let's talk a little bit about this instrument assembly. First, I'd like you to just open up our case like here, and we're just going to take out the head joint for now. And all we're going to do with this head joint is we're going to grab it both by the ends here. We don't want to cover up the end of the sound or we won't hear the pitch. And what we're going to do is we're just going to practice getting pitch out of this. And to start, I want to talk a little bit about this embouchure. And with embouchure, I just like you to say, pure.
Pure.
And now, after you say pure, there's going to form a little bit of hole in your mouth, and that's the aperture, and that's what's going to produce the sound. So say, pure. And freeze.
Pure.
Good, and now you've got that little hole in your mouth, and that's what we're going to use to produce the pitch out of here. So let's go ahead and try. We're going to start with the plant and roll. So we're going to take this, face the mouthpiece towards your mouth, plant, and roll it right back. Good, and so after you've plant and rolled, we're going to try and go ahead and see if you can just get a pitch out of this. Yeah, it's whistling a little bit, so try a little bit of, keep your exactly, do another plant and roll, keep it small, and see if you can produce a pitch. Good. That sounds great. Okay, so once we produced a little pitch, we can now go ahead and put the rest of the instrument together. We're going to start with taking out actually the main body next, by the bottom here, and we're going to take this and actually put the head joint right into the barrel, which is this top part where the Yamaha symbol is. And we're going to screw this in, not all the way, we don't want it to be too tight. And once it's screwed in a little bit, so you can see some of the shiny part, we want to line up this Yamaha symbol with the part on the barrel. Good, and once we've lined that up, we're going to go ahead and take this bottom, we're going to use our right hand to bring out the foot joint, and this bottom foot joint part is also going to screw in at the end here, all the way. And we want actually this this little line here to line up right across the center of the tone holes. And so you want to screw it in all the way. Good. And now you've got this little line here going right across the center of the tone holes. Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about the hand position on here. And so with the flute, we're actually going to want to take our left hand, and the contact point is similar to that of, the contact point is actually similar to violin and viola in that it's going to be, with our Magic X here, it's actually going to be a little bit tilted towards this first knuckle here. And that's going to go right up across under this first little tone hole here. And your first finger is going to go on the first tone hole here. The second, not the one right next to the first tone hole, but the third here. And your third finger will go right before this A flat key, which is where your pinky will hover above. Your thumb will actually rest right up on the B flat key, ready to press that, which looks good. And it's going to be kind of, your fingers are going to be a little bit curved at an angle, which yours look like, which is great. Our right hand is going to be in the shape of a C. We're going to take the thumb, and we're going to put it right under our first finger, which is going to go on these tone holes, this first, second, third, and the pinky right up with the E flat key at the end of the flute here, which looks good. And that little C formation forms actually with our thumb on the second contact point. And the third contact point will actually be with our lips right up here. So let's see if you can bring the flute up, and let's try another plant and roll. And once you've done the plant and roll, we want to make sure we have a nice good posture and with the setup. So we want to sit nice and tall. And once we're sitting nice and tall, a little more at the edge of our seats, we want to see if we can, after doing our plant and roll, just see if we can blow a note with our first finger down, our second tone hold down, our third tone hold down, the thumb closing the B flat key, and one finger down on this tone hole. Looks good. And that will make the note F. So let's see if we can produce the note F. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So I'm not concerned with which octave you get, but let's go ahead now and see if you can play that F again for me. Yeah, try another plant roll, see if you can get it again. Alright, not bad. So you've got a little bit of a note going. We want to make sure now to see if we can get a little bit of a faster and tighter air, and to accomplish this, we can try a little bit of tonguing. And if you just say do for me.
Do.
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 And now that feeling with the tip of the tongue on the top of your mouth, we're going to try and form the aperture, pure, and say do.
Do.
And now see if you can get the air to form without saying do. Instead say good. So we don't want it to be too hard, but let's go ahead now and try and put that into context with our plant roll. And try with F. And yeah, try another plant roll. There we go. Great. So now you've got the tonguing. It sounds good. You're hitting that upper octave on the F. Great. So we can put our flute down here. And now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the instrument carriage here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our flute case here, open it up, and in here we typically would have a cloth piece attached onto this part. And what we would do is we would stick this into the flute end and move it around in order to clean it correctly after playing it. And once you've dried out this in the inside, we would start by taking our main body, holding our main body, taking our left hand, and just try and see if you can unscrew by going back and forth. Looks good. Take off the mouthpiece, or the head joint, and just putting it right back in this first slot here. Good. And now we're going to take this next part, and we're going to take the foot joint off with our right hand here, and just kind of unscrew the bottom. And after unscrewing the bottom, you put that part right in the end here. And then the main body going in the last part here, we actually want the A flat key here to rest right above this barrel here. And once it's in correctly, we just close the top and it snaps right in. Great. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this first little basic fundamentals to flute.
I did.
All right. Great.
Thank you.